excited to chat with you, man.
Okay.
Very excited. I've been following your journey for a while now.
Yeah.
You're building something really cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before we talk about Venn and like the problem that you're solving, just tell us about you. Tell us about your founder story. Tell us about the journey that you've been on to where you are today.
Yeah, it's been funny. I was just on stage now when having the conversation with our Basuto partners and about telling like the origin of the story. It's a very romantic and long story, but in a nutshell, the idea was to build our own living experience, right? We dreamed about a place where you can literally walk down the street of where you live and to see familiar faces, to go to the coffee shop and the barista know you by your name, you go to the school and the kindergarten and you know other parents, and just to create this environment where everybody knows everybody and you feel this warmth.
Yeah.
Little by little, we built, Venn is my third company, and this one was not a company in the beginning. It was just we bought a building and we started to build our own thing, you know. But then we bought another building and another building, and at some point we find ourselves with about 1,000 apartments.
Yeah.
The asset managers, the property managers, the people who bring together like all the different small businesses together, and we created this warmth that we dreamed about. It took us almost 3 years to put it all together. It was like almost no time. We thought it was going to take us 10 years. And in 2018, I told my co-founder, or he told me, we were talking about it, that if we will be able to productize all those different touch points between resident and property manager and asset manager, like if we can build this entire ecosystem in a product manner, and we will be able to, you know, centralize all those different data points so we actually know with technology who is the customer, who is the resident, and by knowing them so well, we can improve their life. And if we improve their life by helping them to know other people, introduce them to new opportunities, etc., and provide them with the best and most exceptional service, this will be a game changer. And this is how Venn was born, actually. It was 2018, we decided to go all in. I remember we wrote a book about it, like literally a book, 200-page book, where we put together like our vision of what does it mean to live in the neighborhood and building of the future.
Yeah.
We called it Life by Venn. And it was all about an operating system that was back in 2018 was like, okay, it's going to take us a few years to build. But we thought that the prototype would take us about 12 months.
Yeah.
In reality, it took almost 5 years.
Wow.
And more than 100 people.
Yeah.
To build a prototype, not a prototype, like a real product that we've been able to launch. We launched the product with the first 500 units in 2022.
Yeah.
And since then we will end up this year with about 200,000 apartments, but we're very careful with our scale. We want to make sure that we deliver exceptional service and we have the right partners. And probably one of the best example that I can give you is our partnership with Basuto. You know, they're a highly reputable brand. Like they're so highly regarded. Like that's a big announcement. Yeah, thank you. People think that you signed a deal in over a month. It took us 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's like we are now looking for the right partners, and we want to grow in a way that will allow us to take the product to the next level.
There's many different go-to-market strategies, and you mentioned this isn't your first venture, right? So what I just admire and was just so in awe of was you went underground. I mean, you built an incredibly robust operating system before even, we heard about Venn, before we even knew what Venn was.
Yeah.
When I first saw the product, I was mind blown. That probably took a lot of funding, a lot of obviously people you mentioned. Tell us about some of the people that you've been able to attract to Venn, and maybe some of the larger companies that you've drawn inspiration from.
Yeah, such a great question. So from the very beginning, we thought it would take us, as I said, about 12 months to put it together. But as long as I got into the process, I realized how complicated it is. Because we were the Israeli guys back in 2018 with this big dream and this book and this big vision. And we came here, the biggest multifamily industry in the world, right? 48 million apartment units for rent. Everybody wanted to win here. And then I felt that we need to do it wisely. So we start to learn what kind of integration we need to build. And then we start to understand, okay, so you have the whole journey from a month before a resident move in until a month after they leave. So you have the search, application, screening, lease signing, all the services, the onboarding, like all the services that come with the onboarding. And then the stay, on the stay phase, we call it stay, the time that the resident actually live in the building. You need to take care of maintenance requests, service, right? Amenity bookings. People want to move from one apartment to the other. People need to leave. People don't pay their rent. There's so many different aspects. And in every phase in the journey, there is another about 5 to 15 different solutions. And now you are in the renewal and move out. Man, okay, I didn't realize what we are getting into. And at this point, I realized that the only way to build something exceptional is to bring the best people from the tech industry, right? We wanted to bring people who've done it, people who understand data, people who understand infrastructure, people who can think vision 10 years and build the infrastructure today that will support the dream, right? And it takes a village to build something like that.
It takes an amazing vision as well.
Yeah. And now, you need to go and recruit someone before you even have revenues, right? And you just need to tell them. So every recruiting is a pitch process, right? You need to show them the presentation and what do you do and how does it going to work, etc. Because we brought really like the best talent in Israel. We brought people from Fiverr and Sonos and we've been inspired by companies like Apple, like Airbnb. When I think about Airbnb, I think about the way that they build the next version of the product every time, right? They have this Snow White process where they put all the best engineers and the best product people and the best designer into the one room, and they leave the room just after they draw the new journey of the host, of the next host, and the new journey of the next person who's going to be hosted, right? And we've been inspired by the way they do things. And it's all about design and seamless experience. Now build big design, okay? It's part of your identity, part of your IP. So you need to bring the best designers. Best design, it's not easy to find.
It's not easy.
And they are extremely expensive, right? And then you want to go and hire the best engineers. And you need the right CTO, and you need the right chief product officer, and just the recruiting process, and you have so many mistakes and so many trials and errors. Just this process takes you a year or two. And this is the moment when I told my co-founder that I think that we should be very careful before we put the product out. And I know that Chen is like extremely thoughtful, and he thought about it even before I thought about it, right? He thought that we need to relax. We have to not think about just revenues, and we need to tell our board to relax, right?
That's the hard part.
Yeah, it's the hard part, right? Because we raised almost $100 million. We invested $70 million before we launched the product. Now you need to hold back and to tell them, guys, wait, I'm telling you, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. So it's not easy. But I think that if you're really serious about what you do, if you're serious about the vision, and you're not just saying that, yes, we're going to build this or we're going to build that, and you're not afraid from a long journey, there is an opportunity to build extremely influential company in this industry. And I just said it on stage that I think that the only way to win in this industry is to bring together all the good, we talked about it pretty much. I really believe that you can find an amazing founders in the industry who share the same DNA, who really care. Who really care about building better products, taking the industry to the next level. You know that when we met in the beginning, it was like I could have seen in your eyes like the warmth, and you really care about people. And before we even talk about the product, we became friends.
Yeah.
And after we became friends, we started to talk about the product. And then we started to think, okay, what can we do together? How can we make better in our products? And you were always about, I want to connect to this person, I want to connect to you to that person, and the same, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of founders like us who really care.
Yeah.
And I think that in order to make this change, we all have to work together. And this is what I've been seeing in the past year, that more and more great founders want to support each other, want to work together. And this is part of the journey that I think that had a lot of impact of where we are today.
I remember vividly when we sat down at AIM and you opened your laptop for the first time and you showed me the product.
Right, this is what the first time you saw the product.
I remember it vividly. And you showed me the CDP, like the underpinning, right? You showed me a lot of the workflows and the custom workflow creation. It was when I saw the underpinning that I was mind blown. I saw in your press release with Bazzuto, which is an amazing partnership, I saw a lot of references to Apple, and you mentioned Apple just recently. Tell me like the synergies or the inspiration that you drew from Apple.
Yeah. So when I gave my team the brief of how I believe the product should be structured and work, I told them, look, my mother, she's not a tech-savvy person. I want her to be able, without onboarding, I want her to be able to run every building in the world.
Yeah.
This was the brief, okay?
Yeah.
I want it to be as simple as possible. When my mother had her iPhone, she can navigate with her iPhone very easily, right?
Yeah.
Why? Because there was the best mind in the world had thought about the design system here.
Yeah.
They thought about the navigation system here. They thought about data. And when my mother got into her phone, she feels that her phone knows her better than she knows herself.
Yeah.
And this is extremely important. This personalization is extremely important. Now, it's so difficult to build a product like that. It's so difficult to create seamless experience. And afterward, this developed a lot, and we came up with this Apple effect, Amazon effect, and the supermarket effect, which is our point of view about how to do things, right? So you have the Amazon effect, which relates to the data, right? When you get into to your Amazon app, in your checkout, they will ask you, do you need San Pellegrino?
The recommendation.
They know you like so well, right?
Yeah.
How do they know you so well? They know you so well because the algorithm training their AI system in a way that they know you so well. Now, if you go to my app, to my Amazon app, it's totally different,
Yeah.
right? And this is the kind of experience you want to create. And then to put on top of that an extremely seamless design system that allows you to navigate, and everything is just beautiful
Yeah.
and simple and easy to use. This is the Apple effect, right? And finally, it's the supermarket effect, okay? The supermarket effect is basically, those companies that come to your supermarket and tell you that based on data, they know where you need to place
shelf space.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? And based on that, we build our automated workflows.
Yeah.
So the automated workflow in every single phase in the journey are based on the supermarket effect, right? We have the data, we
Yeah.
have extremely simple design system, and you can build your own workflow within the system. So you wake up in the morning and you say, okay, I see an opportunity here. I can build my own workflow on top of the design system
Yeah.
with the help of the data and real-time insight. You saw that. So in order to build something like that, you need to look at companies like Amazon, where they streamline the entire supply chain, right, based on data. You need to look at companies like Apple, where it's so simple and easy to use, and you need to think about how you want to organize the life of the people who actually run the business.
Come to the future with me.
Yeah.
So a lot of what you just touched on, which is so hard to articulate, is feeling.
Yeah.
Right? It's a feeling of community. It's a feeling of belonging. It's a feeling that, this single application knows me
Yeah.
better than I know myself. 3 years from now, 5 years from now, where does this go? Where does Venn go? Like, the foundation that you've built is incredible. Where do you take it?
Yeah. It's a good question. So I think that right now, when I'm thinking about it, we need to be able to convince any tech product, any great tech product in the industry, that the ecosystem is what matters. And we are not necessarily competing with each other. We can work together.
Yeah.
I think Revise is all about that as well.
Yeah.
So this changing in mindset of there is an idea which is bigger than me. I don't know if you read the book New Power. It tells the story about the biggest movement in the world right now, right? The biggest movement in the world right now, if I ask you, who is the leader of Me Too? You don't know.
No idea.
Who is the leader of Black Lives Matter? You don't know. Who is the leader of Burning Man? You don't know. Because there is not a single leader.
It's a movement.
It's a movement around an idea.
Yeah.
And I think that Venn is beyond the founders. And I think that if we are serious about what we do, we need to collaborate. And this collaboration will be based on machine learning and AI and data, of course, but it also needs to be based on an ecosystem gateway that allow everyone to work together. Yeah. And this is what we believe is the future, and this is what we want to inspire other companies to do. And I think that the moment we realize that we are all here for the same purpose, then a lot of magic will happen. And we identified, by the way, I will finish with it, we identified more than 35,000 different workflows in the operational side, okay? And we automate those workflows one by one. So the end game is to create autonomous building with a simple operating system that's fed by the best technologies in the industry.
Yeah.
And this is what we are here to solve and hopefully to inspire others.
You have a big vision. Big vision, and I love it. And I've watched the last few years to come to fruition, and I have no doubt whatsoever that the next few years are going to come to fruition too. So thank you for spending some time with us, for telling us all about Venn. Where can our listeners learn more about Venn? Like, where is the best place for them to go?
The best place is to give me a call.
Yeah.
I really believe that you need to be approachable. The best way is to give me a call, to send me an email. We are so approachable. Or to just show up in our office in Tribeca in New York. And the website, you can explore more in the website, but just give us a call. It's a small industry. Just give us a call.
I love it. Or thank you, man.
Fantastic. Thank you, man.